What do you make of how the markets are digesting this? I know you've often reminded me over the many years, that markets sometimes will respond first on a good news item, buying up on it, sell first on a bad news item, selling off on it. Right now, they're very worried about the Ukraine and how that's going to work out. Is that going to be the market mood setter for the immediate future?
Yeah, I mean, markets always overreact and overcorrect to news or anticipated news, particularly after a big run up, because speculators and investors want to protect their profits, so people run to cash. But the reality is, whether rates go to 3% or 4%, there aren't a lot of other good places to put your money. And so while there may be a lull now, just like we've seen in the past, people will come back to the markets.
All right. Right now, you're quite right. I mean, a whole generation is shocked by the prospect of mortgage rates hitting 4%. Of course, when my wife and I got our first mortgage, I think that's what we were paying per day. But I exaggerate here to make the point. Are young investors going to be spooked? Does that worry you that they,
No.
once burnt, don't want to return to these markets?
No, I mean, look, like you, my first house was at 12.75%. And, as rates went down, I always thought I was getting a bonus. But young investors are getting used to crypto. They've become crypto natives. And so they're used to a lot of variability. They're used to a lot of speculative run-ups and run-downs. And so I think they'll be the least spooked of all generations.
So you're looking into crypto and sort of finding a way with this crypto app. Could you explain how that works? Obviously, you're a believer in this, but I think the last time I had you on, you talked about, look, I mean, you don't want to use every last penny and pour it into this, but by the same token, there was promise.
Right.
Is there still promise?
Yeah, of course there is. I mean, crypto has different types of utility. Bitcoin is like an alternative to gold. It's a store of value. Ethereum has a programming language on top of it called smart contracts that allow you to build all kinds of different applications. You have to look at investing at crypto the same way as you look at investing in anything. Do you think there's a value proposition there that consumers or businesses are going to use? If you think the answer is yes, and you think it provides enough growth, then you invest. If the answer is no, you don't. The challenge in crypto, like the early days of internet stocks, is separating the signal from the noise. Back in the 1995, when all the internet companies were going public with only a website, people got all excited and invested in things just because they were there. And you see some of that with crypto as well. But the reality is, then like now, if you find a crypto token or application that really provides value and utility, that's where you invest. And that's what I look for.
The thinking was, and for a while it panned out, Mark, that Bitcoin and some of these other cryptocurrencies and investments benefited when the regular market was in a tailspin. Now the only primary beneficiary that I could see has been gold. Why is that?
Yeah, and even gold hasn't gone up that much. As markets like crypto mature, then with that maturity comes traditional investors. So you get ETFs, you get institutional investors that are investing in cryptocurrencies and crypto applications as well. You see a lot of VCs and private equity investing as well. So it's becoming more traditional. Everything that we're saying now about cryptocurrencies and applications, we said the exact same thing about the internet stocks back in the 90s.
Miami Mayor Suarez, who's going to be on with me, has talked about maybe reining in the expectations for this Miami coin, a cryptocurrency unique to the city of Miami, saying, I don't know whether it's going to work or not. The fact that it has had a bumpy launch and efforts by other mayors to maybe expand its use, does that give you pause? Are you worried?
No, it's like any business, any application, any environment, there's, in the early days, there's just a lot of craziness that goes on. And you have to look to see where the real utility is. And crypto is absolutely no different. If you look at this like you'd look at buying any application, using any app, if it works for you, you do it. And if it doesn't, you don't.